What? Oh, you're kind of the new guy. It's all on here. Are you logged in? Okay. All right.
I only have 4 logged in. They join the meeting, but they're not. And I'm short 4.
Yep. I'm ready. I just want to make sure everybody's logged in.
It'll take a little while, but it'll be good.
You ready there, Alderman? Chris, ready to go?
Not yet. They're not logged in. Randy Scannell isn't either.
Randy in?
Yeah, we're logged in.
All right, let's get going.
They're not logged in.
All right, good evening and welcome. I want to call to order the meeting of the Common Council for Tuesday, May 1st.
Am I supposed to hit this now?
I want to call the roll, and as you know, with our new system, everyone needs to properly log in.
We're hitting President Buildings.
You need to hit this?
Which one are we going with? Both of them? Should they do both of them?
We are transitioning to a new software system that is going to allow the city to kind of go paperless over time, and it's everything's on video, every vote is recorded, and this is our second go at this. So if you could be patient as we together look at a blank screen. Why isn't that on there? You hit that? I hit send live for PC.
That's good, yeah. Okay. What is going on then? He's present voting. He put him present not voting. That I can't do. Can't do join. How about Chris Weary? He's still working. So I can't get him on join the meeting. Randy, you're not joined the meeting yet. Neither is Chris. I don't have you in either one.
Mike,
Well, I can put him in.
can we put you in?
I'll just,
You know who's here.
I just can't do join the meeting.
That's fine. We take a roll. We're gonna get going.
Okay. Yep, Randy, you're good.
Okay, Chris says something. Ready? Just save.
12 are present, Your Honor.
All right. We are all here. Again, welcome. Let's all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we're grateful to be standing here in the City Council chambers of Green Bay, knowing that you are with us to help us make decisions to lift the lives of people here in Green Bay. Help us be mindful of all your people, the homeless, the underemployed, those struggling with personal and financial challenges, and those who have lost hope. Today and every day, we know that through a faith in you and a faith in each other, we can truly make a difference for those we serve. It's been a tough week for many of us as we mourn the loss of Harry Meyer and Beth Carpenter, two very dedicated people to the greater Green Bay community. Please be with their families and with our community as we work through the passing of these two special people. As always, we stand here grateful for the many people of our community who give their time and talent to better Green Bay. We ask that you bless all who serve in our armed forces, especially those serving on the USS Green Bay. We ask this all in your name. Amen. All right, with that, I will entertain a motion for approval of the minutes. There's a motion by Alderman Nicholson and seconded by Alderman Scannell for approval of the minutes of our last meeting. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and the minutes have been approved. I'll now entertain a motion for approval of the agenda. There's a motion by Alderman Scannell, seconded by Alderperson Kathy Lefebvre. Anything here we want to look at? All right, so
Improvement and Services Committee up to right after letter J, the presentation.
do you want to do that, or you just want to suspend the rules and take it up after we're done with I? All right. Oh, sorry, Bill. Okay, so there's a motion second to move up the report of the Improvement Service Committee to right after item J. Is that correct? All right. So there's a motion and a second. All in favor of that amendment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. All right, Alderman Stoyer.
As long as we're changing the agenda, could we move item T up to just before item I, so we can get that out of the way? Or I mean, just item T up just before item O after J, if that makes sense.
Item T 1 and 2, that's the bond council. They're here tonight.
Yes, right.
These guys charge us big bucks. We want to get them out of here as soon as we can. So after item J, we will take up items T 1 and 2, followed by the report of the Improvement Service Committee.
Okay.
Yes.
Second.
All right, so there's a motion and a second to move that item. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. Is there anything else? Then let's entertain a motion to adopt as amended. By Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Galvin. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. So the agenda as amended has been adopted by this council. Okay, clerk?
Report by the mayor.
Two things. I'd mentioned 2 weeks ago, and I'll mention it tonight. My State of the City is coming up. It's May 9th at the Meyer Theater at 5 o'clock. And if you let Celestine know if you're going to be there, as I said, I recognize you, and I'm almost done writing it, but it just talks a lot about the city of Green Bay and some of the things we're working on. This is my 15th one, my last one, but I'm not going to make it about that. I'm going to make it more about the future of Green Bay. So I just invite you to join me May 9th, and after that, we'll just walk down to the Creamery where we'll have a reception. So again, that's May 9th. And then I also just want to mention yesterday, which was a significant day in the city of Green Bay, and that the sale of the Hotel Northland was approved. And we just couldn't have asked for a better outcome. It's going to be a Marriott autographed collection hotel. As we talked about months ago, the subcontractors will be paid in full, the city will be made whole, and the hotel is going to open this fall. It's going to be awesome. They ordered the furniture today, $4.5 million. So the 8th floor is done. I mean, I go through there twice a week, but I'm just delighted with everyone, especially the Economic Development Law Department here in the city that made that happen. So that's an update. And that will conclude my report.
We're on to announcements.
You know, I'm not following this damn thing.
Yeah, I'd like to make one.
Yep, I'm going to get that. Hey, I'm not seeing the lights on here. Hey, Mike, I am not seeing the names of people who want to make the announcements. Did anyone hit their light to make announcements? No. Oh, well. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
Seldom do we have that, so, right, in my defense.
I don't know if I hit mine. I thought I did.
He said he hit his light.
You're in board view. Log in.
You.
It's gotta be on us. It's none of us.
I'm going to go.
Oh well.
I'll let, Alderman Stoyer, announcements?
Yep. Yes. Is my mic on?
It is here.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. First of all, I'd like to thank all the people that gave me good wishes after I had my little accident a couple weeks ago where I fell, and thank you very much for that. I wished I would have been here. I wasn't. I kind of resented when the doctor said he found nothing up there when he looked, so I kind of resented that, but we move forward. I also like to reiterate what the mayor said about Beth Carpenter and Harry Meyer. I knew them both. They were great people, and we'll miss them greatly. Also on May 5th, this Saturday, we have a hike through the Green Bay Trust for Historic Preservation and the Green Bay Historic Preservation Commission. There'll be a walking tour of the new downtown East Side District. It'll start about 2 o'clock. We do have a symposium starting at 9 o'clock that'll have a lot of different speakers on historic preservation, commercial, residential, talk about landscaping, all sorts of things that people might like to look at in their homes. So that's 9 o'clock at the public library on Saturday. And at 2 o'clock, we'll go on a downtown walking tour. I'll be one of the tour guides. Hopefully, I'll be good for you. So that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alderman. Anybody else? They're rebooting this, so just raise your hand. I'll hit your light. Any other announcements for the city? Okay, clerk.
Okay, we're on to appointments. New appointments, Redevelopment Authority, Kathy Hinkfis, Chelsea Koken, and Green Bay Area Room Tax Commission, Warren Wanasak.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Nicholson, seconded by Alderperson Dorff to approve the appointments as stated by the clerk. Any discussion here? If you'd please use your tablets.
Where are we at?
I can.
Okay.
I gotta take this as a real vote.
That'll be easy.
She's gonna have to say yes and Chris will vote for it.
For who?
For Kathy.
And,
Okay.
all right, Alderman Nicholson, thank you. And Alderman Vanderleest, hey. Could you just hit, if you hit your green light, then we're all in. All right. Thank you, and that passes unanimously. They appreciate that. Okay? All right, clerk.
We're
Thanks,
on
Mike.
to, let me just,
Recognition.
we're on to recognition.
So tonight, under recognition, we have a group with us. You know, I mentioned in my invocation, we have just so many people who give of their time, their treasures, their talent to make our city what it is. And tonight, we have a proclamation prepared by myself and the city council honoring the Green Bay Elks Lodge. And if I could have you guys maybe join me up here, and a couple of the aldermen. You guys don't look that old. We've been around for 125 years. That's nice you're all here. I'm going to read this, and then if somebody wants to say something on that, Mike, we would appreciate that. But this is a congratulatory proclamation to the Green Bay Elks Lodge, and reads, whereas on March 15th, 2018, the Green Bay Elks Lodge, the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks, marked 125 years of service to Green Bay, committing itself to honoring and serving the community, the veterans, and the youth of Green Bay and Northeast Wisconsin. And whereas the youth benevolent programs of the lodge, such as Hoop Shoot, Halloween's at Elks Hollow, Christmas with the Elk, Dictionary Project, Southwest Area Girls Softball and Scouting, support the area youth programs. And whereas the Elks are one of the largest non-government providers of scholarships in the country, working to provide help for tomorrow's leaders to succeed. And whereas drug awareness programming that provides materials and information regarding the perils of drugs, alcohol, and bullying to youths, parents, and schools is a valuable resource that the Elks provide. And whereas the Order of the Elks is distinctively American and sponsors essay contests for youth, hosts the U.S. Constitution test and scholarships, and supports the U.S. flag in the classrooms. And whereas the Order of the Elks has a long history of supporting veterans and their families with programs that include Soup for Vets, Heroes Closet, gas earn cards for the DAV, welcome home kits, adopt a vet, and many other programs. And now therefore I, James J. Schmidt, the mayor of the city of Green Bay, on behalf of its citizens, do hereby congratulate the Green Bay Elks Lodge of the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks on their milestone anniversary. We express our appreciation for their many years of generously serving the veterans and youth of the Green Bay community and Northeast Wisconsin through their many programs. We extend our wishes for continued success in the coming years. Congratulations. Thank you for what you're doing.
Hi, I'm Jordan Melville. I'm the exalted ruler of the Elks Lodge in Green Bay, number 259. And I just wanted to say thank you. We're honored and proud to have served this community, this great community of Green Bay for 125 years. As you see, we focus on youth and veterans in our lodge. So we just appreciate everything that the city has helped us to do. And we do it through the members that we have now and future members, so we can do it for the next 125 years. Thank you.
Sounds good. Do you want to say anything, any of you guys?
I just want to make a quick little plug here. Thursday, June 14th is Flag Day, and for 109 years, the Green Bay Elks have held a service honoring the flag and those who serve under that flag. And this year, the Flag Day has a special significance because our very own Chief Andrew Smith will be recognized with the Elk Citizen of the Year Award, which for his efforts and everything, and I think he should be commended for everything he does for this city. So we'd love to have you guys out. It's at 5:30 at Brown County Plaza in front of the flags there, and yeah, we'll be there to honor our country and Chief Smith.
That's good. Thank you. Well, thanks again. We appreciate that. Yes.
It's regarding the agenda.
Okay.
Are we missing the late communications and late communications?
Nope. The Robert's Rules of Order looks at late communications as new business, and that's later in the agenda.
Okay. Thank you.
Just following it. Thank you. Okay, clerk.
We're on to presentations.
So tonight, you remember we give out awards here in the city of Green Bay to outstanding people who work on literacy, outstanding people who work on small business. One of the awards we give is people who work for the good of government relationships, and that was given to Dave Steffens. He's our representative, I think part of the West Side, but he calls often, and we talk about Foxconn, we talk about legislation, and he's always looking how can we help Green Bay. Still talk about the coal piles. There's just a lot of things that Dave is working on. He wanted to give a little update on what's going on in the state. I thought he's the most appropriate person. So Representative Steffens, thank you for being in our chambers, and I will give you the floor.
Well, first of all, thank you, Mayor. Such a kind introduction. Before I was elected to the State Assembly 4 years ago, I spent 8 years as a local elected official sitting at a dais just like you, and it was during that time that I really felt was formative and instructive to me as to what type of person, elected official I want to be regardless of the level. It's at places like this where people can come directly at any time, show up after work and participate in democracy. This is where the best government, the best democracy occurs, and I certainly enjoyed my time in local government, and it's wonderful to have so many fresh faces here that are part of the future of the leadership of Green Bay. So thank you for each of you for stepping up to doing that. My comments tonight are going to be brief, conversational, extemporaneous. It's kind of the way I like to do things. More than anything, I just wanted to review a few things that happened at the state level and then end with a couple things I'm going to look for your help with. So this, over the last 4 years, I've been, because of my background in particular, being a local elected official, most of my efforts have really been what I call district first legislation. Whatever I can do to make the city of Green Bay, Village of Alway, Village of Howard, which are my district area, whatever I can do to benefit that area is where I'm focusing my efforts. And so that began with helping return $17.7 million back to the communities 2 years ago. It meant ensuring that doing whatever I could to reduce the regulatory impediments that were causing some challenges for the Village of Ashwaubenon with the Titletown District, to ensuring that $130 million economic development project could occur. And then for the city of Green Bay, as part of some of those things, the $5.5 million that they received as a part of the sales tax refund program, as well as working with Senator Coles and Representative Genrich on the lead pipe replacement program, which is indicated in my progress report. That came through my committee, and had to work very closely with those gentlemen to ensure that it received passage through our chamber. More broadly, of course, we worked on eliminating 3 different taxes so that our homeowners, taxpayers, job creators have more money in their pocket. We're at a 50-year low in terms of the tax burden on taxpayers. And of course, we are all benefiting, and sometimes almost to a negative point. We have an unemployment rate here in Green Bay of 2.4%, or Brown County, 2.4%. And so we have a challenge that comes with that in terms of finding new talent to come in place. And it's one of the reasons why on the front end worked with both the Tech College on some of their programming, the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay having an engineering school here. We have to have the people that we cultivate in our great schools stay here, and to feel like a higher education, even through an engineering program, is available, and therefore make this even a better place to live, work, place, and retire. Some of the things, though, that I have to tell you, I feel disappointed, and this is where I'm coming to my help part, is there were some challenges that related to primarily local control, where there's been some challenges that occurred, and I want to help more on some of those challenges, in particular dark store legislation, which if you're not familiar with it, it'll be the largest tax shift from retailers, big box companies, to our homeowners in state history if we don't take action. And the mayor has mentioned that I've spoken with him many times on this issue, and a myriad of other economic development programs and all that thing, those type of initiatives. But I feel like I have not properly served you in the community if I'm not working with you as a legislative body as well. And so as we proceed through this process, each one of you, I've sent a letter or some sort of personal note relating to your election, that sort of thing. But I hope you feel like you can always contact me, and that we have opportunities to work together and collaborate. We can do great things together if we work together. And I have had a wonderful working relationship with the mayor and the entire administrative team, but I want to continue that with each one of you, because we all represent these people, the great people of the city of Green Bay, and so the more that I can do to assist you and you me on making this a better place to live, work, and retire, I think we're all better served. And so each one of you did receive a copy of my progress report, and I do call it that because I feel like I have to report to the people. I'm an employee. I'm their servant. And so it has my contact information. I hope you'll feel confident and comfortable contacting me anytime. I'm here to work with you, serve with you, and hopefully succeed with you. So with that, that's all I had. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your time, and thank you for each of you for doing what you do to serve the people of Green Bay.
Thank you, Representative. Appreciate that, and thanks for your help on the tax credits. That was a big part of our opening of the hotel. So thanks again.
Thank you.
We're good? All right. Clerk, let's continue.
Resolutions now?
What, pardon me?
Are we going to the resolutions?
To T.
So we're now on to resolutions 1 and 2. You may, under suspension of the rules, take up items 1 and 2.
T. So this is report T under resolutions, item 1 and 2. So there's a motion by Alderman Scannell and seconded by Alderperson Dorff to suspend the rules to take those 2 items up at this time. All in favor of suspension of the rules, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Proper motion would be to adopt items 1 and 2.
Second.
All right. And are there any questions on this? We do have our bond counsel here. I think you guys know me and Mr. Meehan. And does anybody have any questions for him? All right. John?
Not so much for the bond council, it's just that on the one proposal here, okay, for the
Hang on.
police and the fire, the 40,000 that you put in there for bonding, for the prints and things for the study to go ahead, I thought that, you know, we couldn't have took that money from another source, that we had a bond. That's a 20-year bond.
Yeah.
Basically, that's a 20-year bond for $40,000
Yeah.
for this part of the project. I just thought that, you know, because we've done it, you know, like on the pool and things where we've
Yep.
kind of went backwards on
Yep.
those type things. I don't mind bonding money for, you know, some of the things, all that are listed here. But I just
Okay.
thought that, you know, that could maybe come from a different source.
All right. I
for
appreciate that.
Going on in the future.
Yes.
And just that we wouldn't have to pay for those studies,
Right.
that $40,000 study for the next 20 years, I guess.
Right.
And
Okay. I understand.
Chairman Galvin, he mentioned some of the things about, you know, different things that we do on the police department as well, that we're bonding for things that are only lasting for a very short time. So I
Okay.
just want to kind of bring the council just aware of that.
Thank you.
You know, that
Right.
maybe in the future we can just do a little different. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The resolutions 1 and 2 are the sale of the bonds, which sold this morning, and we got a good interest rate. We had 6 bidders, which, you know, people believe in us and want to buy our bonds, and that we're just going to really reaffirm the sale of these 2 issuances. So John's here. If you don't have any questions, we normally don't. We appreciate, got a good rate, and we keep up the good work on that. If you want to use the board on this. All right, Alderman Nicholson, go ahead.
What is our bond rating at this time?
AA2.
How long has that been?
5 years, 6.
Has it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was it before?
I think it's AA1.
Which one's better, AA1 or 2?
1.
I guess what happened with that?
Big recorrection by Moody's. A lot of cities were recalibrated at AA2, and we went through that 5 years ago. But John, I don't know if, you know, we're comfortable where we're at. You know, we'd love to move up a notch, and we have to build up our reserves and close some of these unperforming TIFs, which we're taking action on. But I think that's a good goal for the city.
Did we have any factors that changed that? I mean, factors within the city, or was it just the Moody's? Did we have any factors that changed it?
Do we have any factors? I think if you read the report from 6 years ago, it talks about a lot of things. We need more investment, more growth. The growth is slower than it should be. We've got to keep an eye on our reserve funds. Can't just always say, well, let's take it out of reserves. We've got to build that up.
Okay.
Like I said, if you put in a TIF district and you don't get the economic development, that's not a good idea. So we tried some things that didn't work. We closed those TIFs. We need to continue to get investment. I mean, this is all on the rating. I mean, but
right.
Our bond, I just want to say, Alderman, we're pleased with the interest rate we got on these bonds.
When you said we closed some of those TIDs, was it the 2 most recent ones on the northeast side? Is that what
3?
you're talking about?
Yeah, 2 of them are not performing, but yeah.
Okay. Were there any other ones that weren't performing that we closed besides the 2 a couple months ago?
So, Finance Director and I annually kind of look at TIDs and going through the Joint Review Board this summer.
Okay. Quickly.
Sure. So Director Ellenbeck and I, as you look at the cash flows through all the TIDs, we look at how they're performing, and with the Joint Review Board this summer, if there's any that are worth taking a look at closing, we also do that as well.
Right. Were there any other ones before the two that we closed.
Any other ones prior to that?
Right.
Not to my knowledge, those are the first ones that
Okay.
we've closed since I've been here.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman. All right, so the motion second on the floor to approve items 1 and 2, and if you'd please use the board on this. This is resolutions T 1 and 2.
There go.
What was there? And then, or at least in Lefebvre.
So, then she has to say it out loud.
Yeah. How do you want to vote? Okay, so we got that. Now it came up. All right, very good. Those passed, thank you. Okay, clerk, let's continue.
One quick question there.
Yes.
On that interest rate, what was the actual interest rate that we had then on the 14 million?
John, what, Director Ellenbach, John, the interest rate on the 14 million?
The interest rate of 14 million was 3.37%.
Thank you.
All right.
We're now on to Improvement and Service Committee.
Okay, that is item O in your packet, or on your civic management agenda. So I'll entertain a motion to approve. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Nicholson, and it was seconded by Alderman Scannell to approve item O, which is the report of the Improvement and Service Committee. Are there any items under this report you wish to handle separately?
11.
Right? Hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All items have been approved with the exception of item 11. What are your wishes regarding item 11? All right, there's a motion to approve by Alderman Scannell, and that was seconded by Alderperson Dorff. Alderman Burnett.
Thank you. Actually, the motion I made at the committee level was to table the request after consulting with the city attorney. The motion I would like to make is to hold the request to order improvements completed and assessments levied for these 3 projects. But I'd also like to make a motion to open the floor to hear from interested parties.
Yep, just let me get this on the floor, and then, because people are opposed to table with the motions to hold. So there's a motion by Alderman Burnett and seconded by Alderman Scannell to amend item 11, replace the word table with hold. Hold requires a date certain. Is that true, Vanessa? All right, so what's the date?
Hold for a period of 1 year, and I can explain if required.
You okay with that? Okay, so there's a motion and a second to hold this for a year. All right, that's what's on the floor right now. I can't take a vote on this. You were right. Let's open the floor to hear from interested parties. We're discussing your motion to hold these 3 items for 1 year.
Sure.
All right, so I'll entertain the motion to open the floor.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to open the floor to hear from interested
All
parties.
right, so there's a motion by Alderman Burnett, seconded by Alderman Scannell to open the floor to hear from interested parties. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. So we are discussing item 11, and the floor is going to be open to the public. And that's a motion to hold for a period of 1 year the request of the improvements, and that's the asphalt on Hillcrest, the asphalt resurfacing on Haven Place, and then the water main and water services on Hillcrest. So if I have a list, you filled out your forms. If you'd like to read your name, 2 or 3 of you in a row, and if you want to make a comment for 2 or 3 minutes, we are happy that you're here. So let's start with Pat Buckley, and that will be followed by Denise Service and then Dick Dietrich.
Hello, my name is Patrick Buckley.
just if I may, what is the purpose for holding it for 1 year? Just so we have a better idea how we're approaching the council here.
That's why I wanted you to know the motion. So go ahead, Alderman Burnett.
I'd like to explain that at the committee level, Public Works Director, you had left Supervisor Buckley. At that time, two options were either to approve or deny the motion to move forward with these improvements. I made a motion to table, and we were going to consult with the city attorney. I believe the motion I should have made at that time was to hold. And the reason why I didn't want to make a motion to deny the improvements was because under the denial, based on the comments of the Public Works Director, there would be no work done on that street over potentially a 15-year period. And I thought that that was kind of a lose-lose. Either this get approved and thousands of dollars of special assessments get hit to these homeowners and property owners, or to deny it meant that that road would deteriorate to pretty much nothing over a 15-year period.
Okay.
So my hope is to hold it, that we can discuss other funding options and other issues that you yourself have raised on the condition of that street, and drainage issues and water issues and the whole list of things that constituents have brought to my attention.
Then I'll try to keep it brief.
Thank you.
With that, just for a little background for the people that don't know, Hillcrest Road is basically a country road. And with that, over the last 24 years where I've lived out in that neighborhood, I don't think it was ever designed to handle the traffic that it handles now. Not only from King of Arms, but it's coming up from Highway 170. I follow cars all the way from 172 that come up and turn down Hillcrest Road to go out to Hobart, to go out to Highway 29. They'll come up West Point, cut the other way to Haven Place to go out on 54. It's gotten to be a very, very major road, and I think at one time they thought when they designed it, it wouldn't get the use it would. And I know Councilman Galvin used to live out there. I'm sure he's driven down Hillcrest once or twice in his time, but it was never designed to handle the flow. Now on top of that, you have West Point Road that comes up to Hillcrest at basically a T, because beyond Hillcrest is the dead end. You have West Point Road, which is basically 4 lanes wide, narrowing down to 2 lanes. West Point Road was meant to handle all the traffic, basically from all the developments out in that area. But a lot of people have chosen to cut down Hillcrest Road to go out to 54 Mason, or cut across into Hobart. A huge part of the problem with that road, other than the traffic, is the water. When these developments were put in, they didn't account for all the water displacement. And every year we have problems with the road, with the frost and the heaving, or it drops. A lot of it's got to do with water. A lot of the culverts out there, the ditches are much lower than the culverts, so they don't move the water. We have a lot of standing water that has no place to go because nothing's ever been designed for all the displacement of the water. And that creates a lot of problems with this road. And you cannot just say you're going to resurface it without taking care of the water problems. So you got to deal with that as well. One other thing I will say, with the design of this, they have to take in consideration. I don't want it to get into be a major 4-lane road similar to West Point Road. Obviously, it's not 4 lanes of traffic, but it's 4 lanes wide. Curb, gutter, the whole works. However, we do have a lot of people walking on it, riding their bikes, walking their pets. So it's getting to almost be a safety issue too, especially in the condition of the road. So I think that Alderman Brunette has asked to have it held for 1 year so they can study and see what the best thing to do with that road, the water displacement, and how to finance it. Because a lot of these people are being charged a lot of money to redo a road that they shouldn't be responsible for. It was never designed to handle the traffic it does. And a lot of these people are retired in that neighborhood. And they can't afford $20,000, $15, $20, $30,000 for this project. Quick note on the water, because this was brought up years ago where they wanted us to connect with water out there. The water, if they want to connect West Point into King of Arms, that's fine. But we have perfectly good well water out there. There's no reason, unless there's an issue, to make people get off their wells. Yep. There's no reason. So I think that a lot of these things need a lot more study and a lot more communication with the residents out there before any decisions made and before any assessments are put out there. And I really think the city's got to figure out a way to start taking care of the roads as an entire city. Because when we have roughly about, I think it's around 800 cars a day going out down that road, that's just not the handful of residents that are in here driving back and forth on it. So,
thank you, Pat.
I'll keep it brief. Thank you.
All right. Denise, and as I said, Dick Dietrich, and then Kevin Lincoln. Hi.
Good evening. Thanks for allowing us to address this. And thank you, Jesse, Alderman. So anyway, just a couple of things about this. I live on Haven Place, but my heart bleeds for the people that are on Renaissance because they're hit even harder than what we are on Haven with the project of wanting to put water in, you know, or to run that water into, like Mr. Buckley said, about to places that frankly don't need water. And at the meeting last week, the question was asked as to what the benefit is, because at NWTC it was sold as, oh, this is a benefit to you people, you know, that are paying for this. So that was asked. So what the benefit, you know, was, what I heard was, well, if we can run these roads for future development, you know, of the city, and maybe someday run it down Haven Place, and then someday, if your wells go bad, then you will have, you know, you will have, you know, city water, so you'll be good. You know, well, I guess the point is like Mr. Buckley said, people's wells aren't bad. I mean, frankly, I don't even like chlorine. It's crappy for you, and you know, I don't want that. But the point is our wells are good. You know, so I guess the fact of expecting people to pay in some cases $42,000+, you know, people that just bought a house a year and a half ago, and I hope they speak tonight, and expect them now to pay this kind of money, it's almost, it's just like insane. So I would say that we're, in our neighborhood out there, we really are a totally different animal. We are not a Green Bay normal residential neighborhood. You call us rural residential, okay, and you guys made rules where you have to have 10 acres on 100 feet of frontage in order to sell that or have a buildable lot. So like in an example of my neighbor who can't be here because he's not in the state right now, he has a lot that is over, I think it's 12 or 13 acres, and because of restrictions that was put on him by the city and us out there saying you have to have 10 acres and 100 feet of frontage, he can't even subdivide that lot to help pay his $16,000 bill. And I mean, it just doesn't seem right. If you're going to make special rules, I guess show me another neighborhood in the city where you have to have 10 acres and 100 feet of frontage, you know, to build. That's kind of crazy. And then say, okay, but we're going to limit you here, but yet we're gonna jam this down your throat where you have to pay $16,000, $42,000, $32,000, all these numbers we heard at this, you know, this meeting last week. So I guess if you're going to treat us like a different neighborhood, then, you know, maybe we should look at different options. Then I understand that we're talking wheel tax. So now we can pay whatever it is, $5,000, $16,000, $42,000, and then maybe next year we can pay a wheel tax on each vehicle that we have to fix everyone else's roads after we just got it jammed down our throat because we're a different neighborhood. So right. I guess I would ask that you look at that. There's people that, and I hope they speak tonight, that, I mean, this literally could bankrupt them and they could lose their homes.
Yep. A lot of people that want to speak, so
yeah,
thank you.
Anyway, so I guess I would just ask you to really consider that. If this is an option that fixes the thing, just, you know, I guess consider what it's doing for the people. So I don't live in no big fancy house, okay? My house was built in the 60s, you know, so I mean, I'm, you know, just an average person, so thank you.
Thanks, Denise. All right, Dick Dietrich. Then Kevin Lincoln, if you guys want to maybe queue up a little bit, and Scott Tremmel.
Yes, I live at 1604 Hillcrest Drive. I got the bill for the street and the water. And it come to $32,240. There's only 5 people going to get on this water. And I was told by the water department that it hooked up at Hillcrest and Renaissance, there'd be fresh water running. Well, I went into King of Arms, and there's 9 cul-de-sacs in there. I don't know where this water goes up the end of a cul-de-sac. It's not hooked to anything else. It stops there. So how, I mean, this was something that I think they just shoved down our throat. Like I say, I got a good well, and I don't know, I'm retired. I don't know where, you know, where you can come up with this kind of money. They said they put it on the tax roll for 5 years. Well, that's $700 a month. Besides the $4,000 I got to pay for taxes on my place, over $4,000. I mean, that doesn't leave much money for groceries and other things you have to do. And like I told these people at the last meeting, you know, it's easy for you people, but put this $32,000 in front of you, or $40,000, whatever it is, and what would you do? Just sit there and take it? I mean, which way do you turn, or where do you go? You know, so it's, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
All right, thanks for coming, Dick. All right. Kevin Lincoln, Scott Trumbull, and then Terry Lewis. See Terry. Hey, Kevin.
I guess I'm in the same boat, just as a average person. And the reason we bought out in that area is because that's what we could afford. You know, that lot out there was only $12,000 when I built it. When I bought it, we put all the improvements on it, kept it up all these years. And right now the value of our home from the city is assessed at $129,000, but that's not actual retail, but you know, for tax purposes, the special assessment is 20% of that home, 20% of the value. So that's a lot of money. And actually, this is probably not the first time the mayor and the council have heard these stories. I think this probably happened before, because I delivered on the east side when I was retired. I delivered, and there's similar streets out there in that too. And you know, it's rural, and then all of a sudden they get these huge. I'm sure this is not the first time this has come up. And I just got a quick article from Appleton. They started a wheel tax. Yeah, there's pros and cons to wheel taxes. They're not the end all and be all, but they can help a lot. So we'd like some cost sharing, and their revenue stream and all that was pretty good from Appleton. Most of the figures in that, it helped a lot. One interesting fact too is that in Appleton, their special assessment cost was $1.2 million in 2014, and after they added the wheel tax, the last revenue stream that they have listed, special assessments, was down to $300,000. So if you spread that over the whole city, that's substantial. That's a $900,000 cut. And I'm with the other residents too. We do not need the water, but you don't want to be too much of a proud peacock, because if the water goes bad, then you'll have to talk to the city and get water. So there's things both ways. We understand that, but right now, everything is good. You know, we get our water tested, and I'm mainly a person that doesn't like the density of the area. I don't even see where the city could recoup it. If the city put it in, they'd never recoup their money. The density isn't there. And we're only 600 yards from Hobart, so your future development, very limited right where we are.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, Kevin, is there Kevin and Scott Trumbull, Terry. Oh, that you were Kevin. I'm sorry. Thanks. I didn't even see it. Terry, are you here? Oh, yeah. Why don't you just get it behind him? And hi, Paul. I missed you at your retirement dinner. And then Diane Wilson. Hi.
Evening, Mayor, older people. I guess I'm not as calm as most of my neighbors are. I moved into the neighborhood 10 years ago. And there has been a rough road sign ever since I moved in. Probably during times of the year, should be a road closed sign. We went to a meeting last week where we were threatened, at least I saw it as being threatened, if this got tabled or moved back. We were actually told that our road, which isn't maintained, would not be maintained for 15 years. I don't know of any other word to use for that other than asinine. We have some of the highest tax property in Green Bay. We pay for stormwater runoff and get zero service for it. We pay high taxes. Our road doesn't get plowed. It doesn't get patched. The road was a country road to begin with. As Roger Truckee has testified to several times, it was never designed for any of the traffic. We can't be held accountable for it. It's an oil mat road. It was nothing more than a country gravel road that an oil mat was thrown down, some pea gravels, and paved over the top. It's garbage. Not to mention the fact that we pay for stormwater runoff, which we don't get, and everything's flooded. Therefore, the road is flooded, is on a bog. One of my friends had an assessment, $60,000. That's more than a good amount of the properties in Green Bay are worth. You can't assess somebody 60 grand. That's ridiculous. Even the thought of it is ridiculous. I agree with holding the motion, but it needs to be addressed. The road is garbage. It needs to be fixed. I'm even more out than most. My property is my property line is the city of Green Bay. I'm in between Hobart. I mean, I can be annexed back anytime because my neighbor's taxes are a quarter of what mine are, and his road is 3 times what mine is. You can see where the line is. His road's a lot better than mine. His services are better than mine. And he pays 1/3 of the taxes I do. I think it's insane that I pay 3 times more taxes and get less service than he does.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Right. Terry and Diane Wilson, and then Dale Braun.
Hi, I'm Terry Lewis. My husband Paul and I live at 3194 Renaissance Lane. We've lived there for 22 years. I think there's 3 things that need to be addressed, and some of this has been already mentioned by some of our other neighborhood residents. Number 1, the road conditions. Mason to West Point on Hillcrest, I think the major problem is a base problem and a water drainage problem. I agree with Mr. Buckley when he purported that those things need to be considered more carefully before we run through this project. The road from West Point to Haven, on the other hand, going around to Haven, the pavement is poor, but it doesn't appear to be a base or a water drainage issue. I'm not an engineer, I'm a health professional, but I think that it's pretty clear to people who live and use those roads out there, especially in the winter, there's trouble with sinking and heaving, and it gets to be a real problem. Further, in reference to the road, the curbs, the rolling curbs that are proposed, there's no other adjacent streets or any other streets out there that have curb and gutter. If we had that happen on Hillcrest and then it's not going to continue around Haven, that doesn't make sense. Where West Point intersects Hillcrest, the western side past the 3100 block doesn't have curb and gutter. As was already mentioned, it goes from like a 4-lane down to a 2-lane. So aesthetically, if that's what you're looking at, it doesn't make sense to just have that one piece of the road be curb and gutter. The next problem, the water out there. We have city water, and so we did get a dispensation for credit for one of our lots. We have 2 city lots, excuse me. We have 2 city lots, and one of them we are getting credit for, but they're still charging us $6,500 for no benefit because we already have city water. Some of my friends have purported that maybe they should pay us to go through our lot rather than us paying them. The last thing is that I think that we need to reevaluate the condition of the soil and the water drainage and look carefully at the fact that these lots out there are all bigger lots, and the cost of this project is being borne on the backs of just a few residents, just a handful of residents. In other areas of the city, if you have, 60, 75 feet in front of your house, that's all you have. We have people that have over 10 acres of land out there. So I'm getting off easy, so to speak, but our bill is even going to be over $19,000. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Terry. So Diane Wilson and Dale Braun, and then John Remington.
Hello. My name is Diane Wilson. I work with the Oneida Tribe. We own 3 properties on Hillcrest that are being proposed to be assessed almost $80,000 of assessments. There's 3 points that the nation would like to mention. 2 of these properties are in trust. They have single residences on them. Another one is just vacant property. The points that I wanted to make are that the city lacks the authority to levy these special assessments against trust property minimally, and such authority against the nation's fee property may also be lacking. The assessments seem high, and the methodology for the assessment seem unreasonable. The preferred method would be the uniformly spreading the costs of such improvements across all properties rather than via individual assessments.
Thank you. Okay, Dale. John Remington, you want to get in line here, and then Amanda Ellers.
Good evening. As a taxpayer, I guess we all feel, that you have a lot of responsibility to handle our taxes prudently, and we trust that in you. This situation, to my knowledge, because by the time I get the street in and the water up to my house, and I've been there like 27, 28 years, is going to be about $60,000. And I think we've had 2 weeks notice. And I did call the city last year, and I told them where I lived, and I asked if there were going to be any road improvements, because the road is really bad. It's the roughest road that I know of in the area. And they said, well, the county's got to take care of that. So I called the county, and they go, no, call the city back. And they told me who to call, and they go, that's a city road. We get that call all the time. I call them back, and they said, no, there's no plans of having this road redone. I go, really? And I said, well, what constitutes or what makes you guys put this on the list? And he said, we really have no real good criteria. It's just the road gets to a point and we do it. So I left it at that. Well, then 2 weeks ago, we get a letter saying, by the way, you're going to be assessed. And by the time, like I said, the water's running the house, it's going to be close to $60,000. But then most of the neighbors are retired. I'm not retired quite yet, but I will be someday in the future here. But so I look at this assessment, and I think we should have had more notice, without a doubt. And I think now that the assessments are so high, it's probably time to look at a different means of paying bills like this. Because I've talked to some people in Howard, and they just said the road needs to be repaired. It's repaired, and they don't see an assessment on it. I've never been exposed to an assessment, so I think if it was a third of what it is, and the road doesn't need to be as fancy as they're proposing, would be more acceptable with even more notice. I would think 3 years would be minimum notice, not 2 weeks. So I think maybe this is a good time that it's brought up, and that, like everybody says, that wheel tax and a different means of paying for it, and I think we're responsible for it. I have good water. Someday it may not be, so I'm not completely against that, but I think that cost is, extremely high. And like I said, a lot of the neighbors, it puts more hardship on them being retired. So it just give it some thought. Like I said, if somebody can show me, I got a letter 3 years ago saying that it was going to cost $60,000, then all of us would have been able to prepare.
All right, thank you, Dale. Okay, John Remington.
Good evening. My name is John Remington. I reside at 3207 Westway Drive. This is a corner lot adjacent to Hillcrest. I want to start out, I presented this to Alderman Burnett and the other 4 aldermen that were there last week. This is a picture of Hillcrest, which is now all wetland. This is back in about 65, 66, this picture from near as I can tell. I'm looking south, east of here, somewhere back in the 70s, they let them fill all this in with sand and put this big subdivision in there, backed all this water up that everybody before me spoke of, and dammed this water up and make this all wetland. It's just a cattail swamp now. This was Mr. Dietrich, some of his children are here. This was all his farm back then. There's no wetland here. So that started this project with this Hillcrest. I've lived here for 12 years. They want to talk that if this gets shut down, they're going to quit maintaining Hillcrest Drive, or Hillcrest. I've been there 12 years. Any of you want to take a ride out there and look at that Hillcrest? There's not a tar in any crack in 12 years. They don't tar a crack or nothing. The water gets through the road, destroys the road. There's been no maintenance for 12 years that I've lived there. One of the reasons the street's in that condition. They've had their counters out there. We're counting 700 to 800 cars a day. Some of these vehicles in the 12 years I've been there is construction equipment. I have a new neighbor coming in right straight across the street from me, Hillcrest, building a new house. I have a picture on my phone of a 100,000-pound backhoe unloading lowboy. My driveway's blocked off right there on the street to dig his basement. A few years back, they built 2 new houses on West Point. All that equipment comes up there. Last summer, they come up there and they're finishing sandstone to West Point. And they cleared that all out. They're going to put another subdivision in there. All that equipment uses Hillcrest to West Point. Dump truck loads of dirt coming out, rock going in for the sewer line and everything. Getting to that, 2015, 2016, the addresses of 3231 and 3236 Haven Place, I estimated, and this is no exaggeration, 1,000 dump truck loads of dirt filled both sides of Haven Place. And they were running at one time 24 hours a day. That street, I believe, when it was put back in, and Scott spoke of this, I don't think that was put in to be a Class A road to carry this weight. So, in all, and they know who these construction companies are, the city should, because they should all have permits. Let's go back to these construction companies. They destroyed the street. The city left everybody destroy the street. We're sitting out there, and they want to put sidewalks in our driveways. To where? Where I live, right here, this is all wetland. You're going to have to, if you put the street in, you're going to have to fill on the side to put a sidewalk in and then dig another ditch. In front of my house right here, they come out with and declared that all wetland for this new house being built across the street from me. Right. I got red tags. My ditch is water this deep. Tony with the city street maintenance, for the 12 years I've lived there, every summer we have the problem. When we have a hard thunderstorm, the ditch fills right up and water runs across the street in front of my house. I walked them up and down there, showed them the problem. The ditch is filled in with silt. The culvert's down in the black mud. They will not come out there and dig this ditch out and get rid of this water. Okay? So, in all said, the street wasn't put in for this traffic, and I believe when the street is put in, 800 is no count at all of what the traffic's going to be, because right now it's so rough. And with no maintenance the last 12 years that I've lived there, we don't get plowed. We don't even get salted. The traffic's got to beat the snow off the road. The stop sign at Hillcrest and Mason, it's a wonder we don't kill a dozen people a winter there. It's an ice rink all winter. They won't salt it. They won't sand it. Right. So as far as street maintenance goes, if it goes another 15 years, 12 years I've been there, there hasn't been any maintenance, except 2 men in the pickup, the city maintenance pickup of 174. They ride our neighborhood all summer. 2 spade shovels and wheelbarrow full of asphalt in the back. If there's a pothole in front of my house, if I'm lucky enough to be in the yard, I step out there and stop them and ask them if they could put a spade shovel full of asphalt in that hole.
All right.
They hit the hole. So in ending, I don't see where any of us were in Royal Green Bay like others have said. We all, the house that I have, Mr. Dietrich gave all his children. I ended up with one of their houses. We had to have 1 acre of property to build a house when all these houses were built. If Mr. Dietrich was still here today, if we took this picture from 1965, let's move this before these houses were here, let's move this up to 2018, he'd be the only one there. There'd be no houses there. They'd be knocking on your door. Mr. Dietrich, we need $350,000. That farmer, you think he'd have that today? I don't think so. And none of us have it either. We're all retired, and the traffic that travels this road, another plan has to come up with a way of redoing this street.
Thank you, Mr. Remington.
Thank you.
Mrs. Elders, and then Lisa Sabin Wilson, and that's followed by Roger Truckee.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the council and the mayor for listening to us all tonight. My neighbors have already had some really good points, so I'm just going to get down to what I've got. I'd like to bring up the amount of the assessments we've all received. The properties on Hillcrest Drive are all multiple acre lots. The fact that our area is rural residential doesn't really seem to account for anything when it comes to the amounts we're being asked to pay. If I lived on a city street in Green Bay with a frontage of 50 feet, that would be $3,750, which when you divide it by 5 years is pretty affordable. The amount I'm being asked to pay is $17,901, which it's a pretty huge amount of money, and actually compared to a lot of my neighbors, it's modest because we already have city water, and our lot is considerably smaller than a lot of those lots. $17,901 over 5 years would add $300 onto my monthly mortgage. Having said that, the first communication we received in regards to this project was March 6th. And upon further investigation, we were told that if this goes forward, the construction will begin this summer. That would mean 3 months in advance we were notified of a drastic increase in expense to our properties. This is outrageous and irresponsible. I can't in good conscience support this project knowing what it will do to our families. The potential to bankrupt some of us is pretty high. The street we live on has been used and destroyed by everyone in Green Bay, and the repairs should not come out of our pockets. Thank you.
Thank you, Minna. All right, and Lisa and Roger, you want to read?
First off, thank you for listening to us, Mayor and Council. I've lived on Haven Place for almost 40 years. This year will be 40 years. And according to this engineer's report that I assume is in the record for April 25th, it says we're a local street in a residential area. On Haven Place, we've got approximately 18 homes in between a quarter mile and a half mile of road. That's not a lot. Most of our traffic is not our local traffic. It's Howard or Hobart, all the way from 54 through Oneida and so forth. Also, it says in here, we have a paved existing asphalt road. We've never had an asphalt road in 40 years. Once in 40 years, this street has been repaved with oil mat. You grind it up, you put a layer of oil down, pea gravel over it and roll it. That's it. Nothing else done. That's Haven and Hillcrest. The only other time Haven has been touched was when I-72 was built. Because it was in the contract, they hauled 330,000 yards of sand out of the Gothier sand pit behind my house to do I-72. And then it was in the contract, what they rode on, they had to oil mat the road, which wasn't that great. So once in 40 years is not a lot. The other thing is, most of the lots by us started out 1 acre, went to 5 to 7, now it's 10 acres. That you're going to pay for this assessment for a road and you can't do nothing with it, which is definitely not fair. You talk about a wheel tax. I myself, I believe if you're going to talk wheel tax, It should be just more in the city of Green Bay. It should be to Brown County, just like they have the 5.5% sales tax. Why can't you have the wheel tax? It's most of Brown County that uses our road. Let it be a per capita, at least divide the share up. If we get a wheel tax, sure, it might fix some of our roads, but Green Bay is going to pay for it all when the rest of the county uses it. There should be some cost sharing there. The other thing is, I asked at the last council, or at the last public hearing, about surface water runoff. I believe I've been paying it for 14 years. My water strictly goes into Duck Creek River outside the city through Hobart. The city doesn't do anything with it. Where does that money go? 14 years of all of us paying surface water runoff. I still have that question unanswered yet. So, thank you very much for listening to us.
Thank you, Roger.
I think this has to be readdressed heavily. Thank you, Jesse.
Right. Ryan Dempsey, or, oh, I'm sorry, Lisa Saban, and then Roger Dempsey. Ryan Dempsey, I'm sorry. Hi.
Thank you to the council and mayor for listening to everybody tonight. I echo everything that's been said by my neighbors this evening. I don't disagree with a bit of it. A year and a half ago, my husband and I moved to Green Bay from Milwaukee. We came up here for Packer games a lot, and we really liked the community up here. And when we were looking for a home, we were looking for a home with land because we like the rural nature, country aspect of it. Feels like a little bit of a bait and switch a year and a half later, after we put the down payment down on our house, settled into this community, got comfortable, really became happy here, and then to find that there's a $42,000 bill tacked on to what we were already planning to pay for this home. We wouldn't have bought in Green Bay if we knew that this was happening at all. I mean, our title company did the search. There was nothing indicating that any of this was coming in the future, so we bought. And I'm sure the guy who sold the house is feeling pretty relieved that he sold it to us. I don't feel that it should be up to the residents on Hillcrest Drive to fund this project. The 20 or so people who live here aren't responsible for the condition of the road or the upkeep of the road. Hillcrest is a feeder road. It's a common route for all of the development communities that surround Hillcrest. The airport traffic, casino traffic, traffic off 172, traffic to Hobart, Howard, Ashwaubenon. Hillcrest was overused by construction traffic, as you heard my neighbor talk about, for the expansion of Highway 29 and the Sandia development, the King of Arms development. Full dump trucks, oversized semis, over and over on a country road that is not meant for that type of traffic. Regularly, 800 to 1,000 vehicles per day use Hillcrest. I don't feel the responsibility is ours. I don't feel my husband and I should shoulder a $42,000 bill for this road reconstruction. If Hillcrest were just a small, quiet country road, then we wouldn't be here talking about it today because the road wouldn't be in the condition that it's in. But it's not a small, quiet country road. It's a feeder. It's a common route. It's for several destinations in and around the area. The amount and the type of traffic, coupled with the non-existent water management that you heard Pat Buckley talk about this evening, is a much bigger problem. Is a much bigger problem than just it being a quiet rural residential road. For the city to ask our retired and near retired citizens to shoulder this to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars individually, I feel is a crime. There are people in this community that will be devastated financially by this, bankrupted by it. No one here in this community on our road wants this project and are emphatically asking for the council to vote it no.
That's great. Thank you, Lisa. Ryan Dempsey, did you want to say something?
Hey there. I think everything I was planning on saying has been said, so I'll try to keep it short. As far as the road goes, you know, I think it's a no-brainer to table it, hold it, whatever you got to do. I just think this plan needs to be redone. We have potholes, but we can live with them until you guys get a better plan. Personally, I like them. It's about the only thing that keeps people from doing 50 miles an hour on our street. So, and they're like speed bumps, but As far as the water goes, I guess that's one of my main concerns. I don't think it's been addressed enough. I mean, it is a very short strip that is going to be affected by it. A couple of us, I mentioned 5 people have wells. 2 of the 7 already have city water, including myself. I have city sewer water. Mine goes through the back of my yard. The well's been capped. I actually just last year purchased a strip of land that my utilities go through to assure, because if somebody had bought that, there wouldn't be enough square footage. So I just incurred $30-some thousand in fees to assure I have water. And then I got a bill for the other side of my house for like $13,000. I don't know, somebody's gonna have to explain that to me sometime, but I just feel like if you're gonna shove a pill that large down people's throats, they should be needing it or wanting it. And I know we don't need it. I feel the city doesn't need it. As somebody said, there is no room for you guys to expand. I mean, maybe 600 yards and then you hit Hobart. So I don't feel the city needs to put it in. We don't want it. And if there's some unknown reason that the city wants it, they're not telling us about, I think we should squash the water project. Unless somebody has an explanation for it that I haven't heard. So that's
Thank you,
all.
Rand. Thank you all for coming. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on this item that didn't put a slip in? All right. If you state your name and your address, and you'll get to like 3 minutes.
My name is Janet Angus, and I live at 1403 Shirley Street in Green Bay. I'm in Chris Weary's board, and I appeared in front of this council in 2016 in April and made many of the same arguments that these people made tonight regarding a street improvement in my district. I thought Pat Buckley's comment was interesting. He said, or significant, he said, take care of the roads as an entire city. We need to do something about how Green Bay finances road improvements. And I've been saying this for 2 years. I went to numerous meetings regarding this, and in 2 years, nothing has happened to change our community. In my opinion, changing how Green Bay funds street repairs is probably the most insignificant improvement we could do for our community. This isn't an issue of whether they want the road. This is an issue of how are they going to pay for it. When I appeared here in 2016, there were people on Humboldt Road that had to pay assessments, I believe, of over $100,000 for road improvements and sidewalks that they hadn't had. And it was all geared because, I believe, of some federal grants that they had obtained and they didn't want to lose those. Did you know that Velp Avenue, when Velp Avenue went into, when that was put in, they received state funding and federal funding, and some homeowners there only paid $6 a foot. Others pay $18 a foot. I don't know what these people are being charged for their footage right now, but people that I know on Manitowoc Road paid $0 because of the way the state funding went and the federal funding. And those federal funds, the last time I looked, I paid Wisconsin tax. That funding from the state and the federal government should be shared as a whole by our entire community. And I know that there's different issues as far as how you raise the money. You can't raise our property taxes significantly for a time period. Use the wheel tax for a period of 5 years. And make it so that we can then pay for our road improvements using a general fund. I would support the concept of the city tax levy and bonding being paid by all residents. A lower cost to each property owner would result, rather than assess each street improvement, which is a high cost to those residents on the street. It's huge for some people. It bankrupts some people. Facts are, when I went to the meetings 2 years ago, I heard these words. I heard foreclosure, I heard sell, traumatized, bankrupt, can't afford, lose my home, and hardship. There were elderly people there that said they were going to lose their homes because of these tax assessments 2 years ago, and nothing has happened to change. I think you decided to have a wheel tax, and at one point, the tax money was going to be used to plug holes in the budget. and the wheel tax was not going to go for street improvements. I would ask you, implore you, to please, Mr. Scannell, thank you.
I'm listening.
Okay.
Okay.
I would ask that you really look at this as a council and realize the hardships that people go to. I called 30, my assistant's here with me. Together we called over 30 communities in the state of Wisconsin. And what we discovered, and this is significant, is that about 90% of the cities in our state, the money for road improvements comes out of the general budget, the general fund, not adjacent landowners paying assessments.
All right.
There's a reason for this. And I think you better reevaluate it, because if I feel this way after 2016, it's been 2 years. And these people are saying the same thing 2 years later. Why don't we do something about it? It's time. The Green Bay changes the way we do our street improvements. Let's make it a place where people want to live. This poor lady came from, I don't know, she came here because of the Packers. And now look at her. She's here begging you to not go ahead with her street improvements because she simply can't afford it. Thank you for your time.
All right, is there anyone else who would like to make a comment on this? Anyone else wishing to speak to this? Anyone else? All right, entertain a motion to return to regular order. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Stoyer. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those, a little louder. All in favor of returning to regular order, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. We're back in regular session. Alderman Burnett, you have the floor. Motion that you have made was to hold item 11 for a period of 1 year.
Sure, and if I could, Mr. Mayor, ask a question to Director Grenier. Director Grenier, based on the testimony you heard and the comments from the previous meeting of the Improvement and Services Committee, do you feel that holding this for a year to address the very legitimate and pressing concerns that these constituents, taxpayers, homeowners, property owners have, that we can hold this for a year and revisit it while we work through these issues?
Dr. Grenier?
That's your decision.
Are there any permits, any issues with the work that has been put into this project at this point, that this could not realistically be held for a year and revisited at that time after the Department of Public Works and the streets and all the other city departments work together to come up with a solution that would be appealing or affordable for all those involved?
That's something that's beyond my department's purview. The design won't change. The design does take into account whether or not the base is bad. The design that's been proffered does take care of the drainage issues. All that's inherent. That's why Hillcrest Drive was proposed as a reconstruct, not a resurfacing. None of that's going to change 1 year to the next. If the council decides to come up with alternate funding solutions over the course of the next year, that's the council's purview. That's not my department.
Okay. Is it true, some of these constituents have mentioned that the road had not been repaired, that cracks were not tarred, and that the road has been left to fall into even deeper disrepair?
Well, we're getting conflicting stories. We had one individual state at the public hearing last Wednesday that one of my crews is out there almost continuously all summer long filling potholes. So this road is maintained the same as other roads across the city. My records, this predates my involvement here at the city. I've been here since 2007, but my records indicate that as part of the city's rural resurfacing program back in 1990, a 2-inch hot mix asphalt layer was indeed installed down the length of Hillcrest from Mason down around and including Haven Place. So it is more than just an oil mat road. There was a 2-inch asphalt lift that was placed out there in 1990, again, according to my records, similar to other rural roads of a similar nature on the east side. And it has been mentioned that Humboldt Road was reconstructed 2 years ago. It's almost an identical condition to Humboldt Road, and yes, there were assessments that exceeded $100,000 on that one. We also did a project back in, I believe, 2009 on Church Road, which had been rural resurfaced back in the early 90s. And because drainage issues were not of concern, the ditching was adequate out there to drain the pavement away. That was resurfaced. So I understand folks
feel this is a unique situation, but it has been, we have had similar projects with similar frontages and similar impacts.
Okay, I understand that. Based on my own knowledge and discussions I've had with you and other aldermen, if we hold this project for a year so that the residents feel they have some of their concerns addressed and have more of an opportunity to discuss these concerns with city staff over the course of the year, will the city maintain the road, fill potholes, do proper snow removal, things that any other city street would receive?
The city will address safety concerns out there. We will not let the road become unsafe. I don't know, I'm going to go back. I've got notes marked down indicating that this road has not been plowed. We do have GPS on all of our vehicles. I am going to go back through the snow events we had this year and verify on the AVL data whether or not this street has been plowed. If it hasn't been plowed, I will be having discussions with operations staff to find out what's going on. Residential streets, no residential streets in the city of Green Bay are salted. Primaries only. That's been a policy for 30 years.
Okay, thank Mayor Schmidt, I just want to add something, and I want to make sure that Director Grenier and any other city staff involved in this project hear me. It's not my intention to question their professional training and education and experience. I know they want to do what's in the best interest of the city and all city residents and homeowners. We are often faced with very tough decisions as a government body, and I know in the past city councils and leaders of those councils have really bemeaned and belittled, or at least the perception received from city staff that those are the actions were intended for that effect. I have nothing negative to say about how Director Grenier has handled himself through these proceedings. I'm just doing what's in the best interest of my constituents to get these questions answered, and I don't feel that we need to rush into something. The first time they were notified of this was on March 6th. I think as a city, elected body of people, all have problem-solving capabilities. It's probably why many of us got elected. I think we can do a lot better for the constituents sitting behind me. And please hear me. I don't want to have my comments viewed as negative towards the staff and the work that they put into this. It's a tough job. They have to, kind of walk the tight line, and oftentimes it's hard to stay on that line. So with that, I'll yield the floor to whoever else wants to speak.
Right. So it just for the council, we're discussing a motion with a second to hold this item 11, which is, again, I make sure we're all on the same page, the asphalt pavement on Hillcrest, the asphalt resurfacing on Haven, and the water main and water services on Hillcrest. So, Alderman Galvin, was that you that? Yes. Alderman Galvin?
I have some questions for staff. So, Director Grenier, you say that the water concerns on Hillcrest, the heaving of the road, the ditches, that would all be taken care of with the reconstruct that you're proposing? I don't see it here. Okay. And so there's 5 people that still have well water. The rest already have city water through one means or another. Yet we're hitting everybody up on that road based on their frontage for that sewer and water. We're spreading the costs around based on frontage.
Water, there is no assessments for sewer. There are assessments for pavement, and there are proposed assessments for water. The water improvements, you will have to there is the engineering services manager from Green Bay Water Utility is here, and I would ask that Brian Powell come up and address those questions. That's through water utilities.
Well, I guess what I'm asking, what's driving the cost on this? Is it the resurfacing, or is it everything else?
There is, at the beginning of every year, the assessment rates are driven by the assessment ordinance, which is in Chapter 9 of Green Bay Municipal Code. Those assessment rates are calculated and brought forward to Improvement and Service Committee. Then Improvement and Service Committee takes action and they're brought forward to Common Council for adoption. Those were just adopted in either January or February of this year. Once we have the assessment rates set for the year based on the type of improvement It's simply a matter of calculating the assessment rate multiplied by the front footage, which is taken from the Brown County tax rolls, and that's the number.
Okay, but are you proposing to do the same kind of work to Haven Place as you are to Hillcrest?
No, Haven Place is a resurfacing, not a reconstruct.
I guess that's what I'm asking. If we had a wheel tax in place, $15, $20, whatever, if we did, how much or how much would that affect both proposals, Haven or Hillcrest? Either or, you can go first, whichever one you want.
At this point, it's unknown. It would depend on what the council deems the wheel tax to be spent on. That's not my decision.
Okay, if the council deemed that the wheel tax be used only for resurfacing or the surfacing of roads, what would the impact be?
If the council were to determine that money raised from a wheel tax would first and foremost go to the elimination of residential special assessments for pavement construction, there would be no assessments. So that was the original plan that was brought forward last August.
Right. So is there anything involved with Hillcrest that makes it different than Haven? Why is it so much more?
Because Hillcrest needs to be reconstructed, not resurfaced. As you heard from the residents, there's base failure on Hillcrest.
So the curb and gutter, running the city water, everything, is that what's adding to the cost here?
The difference is it's a reconstruct, not a resurface. It's a more extensive project. The base has completely failed, so the base has to be removed. Significant ditching has to be completed to get the surface water to drain away from the road. It's a much more involved process. Once we get to a reconstruct, because of the way the ordinance is written, the reconstructs are calculated with a higher assessment factor than a resurfacing is. That's all part of the assessment ordinance. I can't speak to the water. That's Green Bay Water Utility.
All right, thank you. Dr. Vonk, right now they're restricted. They have to have, what, 10 acres is what I'm hearing. It started out as 1 acre, 5 acres. Now it's 10 acres to be able to build. Is that because what is the reason for that?
Sure. That goes back to some of the urban reserve zoning that we have in the city. In essence, it was put in place to preserve kind of the rural character of the farther reaches of the far west and the far east sides of the city.
What would it take to change that, to just make it residential?
In terms of a petition to go through, the residents would need to petition to zoning change. By purview of this council, you could look at making some zoning changes. One of the things you'd have to do based on this area, I'd have to look at the specific parcels, but it would probably first involve a change to our comprehensive plan. It's probably designated to be rural residential in that type of character. Amending the comp plan to say, look, we'd want this to be more of a higher density residential, and look at some of other zoning classes that we have or densities. And with that, go through a process to amend the comp plan. By then, you'd have to change the zoning to fit in whatever type of zoning would fit in with the comp plan. Moving to R1 or R2. I mean, however far down the scale you'd like to go. But really then what that would impact is future development. It would allow perhaps, the subdivision perhaps of some lots and to create additional density out there, but really be looking at whenever that zoning was changed at projects moving forward from that point in time.
Okay, thank you. I'm in favor of holding this. I know that there's, like Alder Brunette said, there's some things that can be done. When I lived on Indian Hill Drive, we had basically the same kind of road as they have right now. They did a complete reconstruct. They made it a secondary truck route, curb and gutter, the whole 9 yards. And there was a neighbor that had a large lot. It was over 270 feet. And what he told me the city did was they worked out a deal where he paid the assessment only for the property that his house sat on, and the 3 additional lots, he didn't pay for those till he sold them. And at that time, he would pay his bill. So I don't know if that's something that can be done here, but I think there are some options out there that we could certainly work towards to make this, as it was mentioned, an easier pill to swallow. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One of the things that I really want us to think about as a council is I think it's important that we not be presumptuous on the future of a wheel tax. I think that discussion hasn't occurred yet. We don't have a proposal in front of us. But I think one thing we can all agree on is the need to find a way to fund and fix our roads. This should be the wake-up call that we needed, that we needed as a council, to have the courage to find solutions and to serve the people that we were elected to represent. Alderman Brunette alluded to this. I don't believe this to be a failure of staff, and I think that's an important thing to note. This is a failure of outdated policy, and that places the burden on us as a council. I think we ought to feel morally bankrupt to sit by idly while we financially bankrupt our neighbors. And that, to me, is unacceptable. And it's for that reason that I would support the motion to hold this proposal as well.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Sciano.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, I remember a few years ago when we addressed this with on the east side, and it was not pretty, and I felt horrible. I remember talking to staff and other alders, trying to find a way to ease that situation, and we came up empty, and I felt very empty. It just still strikes me as wrong, and I'd still like to find a way we could help out those people. But this situation here, I do think we do have some wiggle room to do something, and I'm wondering if it sounds like that road, I don't know what goes into making a county road, or if there's a lot of traffic on there besides residential traffic. If it's becoming a through, there should be some county input in there somehow. If it's coming from other municipalities, if it's a through road, I don't know what all goes into that. I don't know what we can do about that, but I would like to look into that. The other questions were already answered here that I had. I agree, we can't count on a wheel tax. I have voted for a wheel tax twice now, and it got voted down. I think there's a lot of misinformation still out there about the wheel tax. It was always meant to go for roads, resurfacing our roads. It was never shuffled off into other. That was misinformation that was put out there by people who wanted to kill the wheel tax, and they did a good job. I'm hoping we can correct that coming up here soon. So I am going to support the hold. I'm not sure what all we can do, if it's going to end up making much of a difference, but I think we should definitely put some effort into doing something. I agree that these assessments are just unconscionable. To be hit with these assessments, it was just wrong a few years ago, and it's wrong now, and we should be able to do better somehow. With 12 of us here and a brilliant staff, we've got to be able to come up with something. So, thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Stoyer.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I'd like to thank the citizens who spoke today. Some great points. I think one of the things when you look at development in the city of Green Bay, you've got the way things are set up. You know, we developed from the central city, we moved out toward the west. Hobart and some of the other surrounding communities developed in their own ways. So now we're at a point now where we're kind of wedged. You're kind of in a no man's land, it seems. And I have a feeling that this happens in other communities as well. I'm in favor of delaying this a year as well. Alder Brunette brought up some very good points. I mean, we need to know if traffic studies, I was going to ask Director Grenier, do we have traffic studies on this area? Yes? Okay. I'd like to look at what percentage of Green Bay is sewered versus unsewered in terms of percentage. This whole 10-acre limit, we need to really look at that. The wheel tax, you know, I voted against it initially. I think looking at it now, there are some interesting points, and I really feel that this might be the straw that broke the camel's back in a way. We really need to look at this. We have to be fair to everybody in this city. So I'm fully in favor of delaying this for 1 year. I think that with our staff and with our council, I think we can come up with some good solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderperson Dorff.
Thank you, Mayor. So 2 years ago, when I became an alder And it was District 1 that was hit with the assessments of over $120,000 for one of my constituents, and $16,000 for an 80-year-old widow on a fixed income. And since that time, both of them have reached out to me and have said, we support a wheel tax. This happened to us. We don't want this ever to happen to anyone again. And so 2 years ago, I proposed wheel tax. The last time I proposed wheel tax was on February 6th of 2018. And I'm yet again tonight going to be putting in a communication. There should be a proposal that should be coming along pretty soon. We've had a number of great proposals from Director Grenier. He's put a lot of time and effort into them. I'm going to be voting to hold this for a year. My residents didn't get that advantage out in District 1, but they should have. And I hope that this is the straw that broke the camel's back, as Alder Steuer just said. That we look at a new way, a better way, so that we aren't bankrupting our citizens and we're not forcing them out of their homes, forcing them to remortgage their homes to pay these assessments. This will be coming up quite soon, Council, so I hope we think seriously about what this new council can do to help this community get better roads and pay for those roads. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no other speaker buttons lit. The motion by Alderman Burnett, seconded by Alderman Scannell, was to hold. It is item 11 under the report of the Improvement and Service Committee. So I'm going to ask you to use the board on this. Oh, it's to hold for 1 year. I want to make that.
Yes, a yes vote.
A yes holds it for 1 year. No, we'll revisit it. Hey, I don't. The right pages here. I J to this.
Kathy, this is.
We have one more here.
Okay, she can't. What she want to do?
I mean, come on.
She can't do it.
All right. All right, that's unanimous vote. So that's held for a year. We got a lot of work to do, but we'll do it. Where do we go back to? You want to take a break or you want to continue? We got two agendas here. Yeah, okay, we're now on to the report of the Green Bay Plan Commission. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell and seconded by Alderman Weary to approve the report of the Green Bay Plan Commission. Any discussion here? All right, seeing no lights, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. No, she said we don't need to do that if it's no discussion. We talked about that last week. If there's no discussion, it's unanimous vote, we can do it by voice. We talked. Yep, we know you do.
We're on to the Public Arts Commission.
Move to approve.
All right, there's a motion by Alderperson Dorf, seconded by Alderman Nicholson, to approve the report of the Public Arts Commission. Anything here you want to handle separately? Seeing no lights, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and that report has been approved.
We're on to the Traffic, Bicycle, and Pedestrian.
All right, so we got a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Scannell, to approve the report of the Traffic, Bicycle, and Pedestrian Commission. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and that report's been approved.
We're on to the Finance Committee.
All right, we have a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Burnett, to approve the report of the Finance Committee. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and that report has been approved.
We're on to the Personnel Committee. Did I miss one?
No,
Did-
we just did that.
We approved all the improvement service and then
Yep.
took that item separately. So that report was approved a few minutes ago, a few hours ago. Okay. So there's we're on to the report of the Personnel Committee.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion by Alderman Scannell, and that was seconded by Alderman Galvin to approve the report of the Personnel Committee. Anything here you want to handle separately? Number 7 and number 8. Okay, hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and everything's been approved on that report with the exception of item 7 and item 8. What are your wishes regarding item 7?
Second.
Motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderperson LaFave. Who pulled that? You, Andy? You did. Okay, Alderman Weary. I'm sorry, we gotta slow down a little bit. But not slow enough to take a break.
I
There was a, hang on, no, not that slow. There was a motion. Oh. I know there was a motion and a second.
Yeah. I seconded it.
It was, nope, we just have to, don't make fun of us, we're trying. Alderman Scannell made the motion to approve the report, and that was seconded by, this is just the whole report.
No. The whole report was.
I know, I was going too fast and we didn't get the name of the person who made the second. I thought it was Alderman Galvin. It was Alderman Galvin. I have to slow down a little bit. So then we approved all those items with the exception of items 7 and 8. Then you made a motion to approve item 7, and it was seconded by Alderperson LaFave, and now Alderman Weary has the floor.
Okay, no, I didn't get 7.
Are you up?
Yes, Chair. No, we're not caught up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so
No,
7
you're still-
I'm sorry.
That's right.
7 was, who was first?
Randy, 7 was Alderman Scannell and Alderperson LaFave.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you.
We're all learning. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just wondering, we changed this last year as a council because we thought we weren't getting the proper service for the community in the summer months, because sometimes an item would come up the day after a council meeting, or if we held something, in essence, the people in the community had to wait a month. That's a long time just because it's summer. I mean, how do you explain, well, you know, our vacation time's more important than whatever your item is, whether it's a sidewalk or building permit or a new ordinance. So I, maybe skip July because of the 4th of July, but I'm opposed to. I mean, September's not even really summer. We have 4 months here that we're skipping a meeting. So I'm going to be voting no to this. If you want to amend it to July, I'm fine with that. But I'm going to vote no. I think sending a bad message that our needs are more important than the community. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. I'm not getting these lights. Did you want to speak? Is anybody else want to?
Yes.
Okay, Alderman Stoyer.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. I concur with Alderman Weary on this as well. We all have our vacation times during the summer, but I think it's important that we do the business of the city as well. So I can see July being maybe an adjustment, if you will, but the rest of the time I feel we should have 2 meetings.
Great. Thank you, Alderman. Alderperson Dorff.
Thank you, Your Honor. I had brought up this idea of having 2 meetings during 1 week. This whole thing started because we were going very late last summer. For the past 5 years, there's been 1 meeting a month during the summer, is what I am told. So it started because we were going till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and so I had made a proposal that we should have a stop time of 11 o'clock, and if we needed to have another meeting, we would have it on that Thursday of that same week. And then there was never any mention of not doing the work of the city or none of those things that come up. It was just taken over. Then someone else made a motion to make 2 meetings during the summer, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So I really wanted to clarify that the real reason was because the meetings were going so long. And I asked Director Faltz to look at the times of the meetings in summer from all the data he has from all of those years where we only had 1 meeting during those months. And he has found that it's, other than taking out last summer, which was kind of an aberration, those meetings lasted about an hour and 20 minutes longer in the summer when we only had the 1 meeting in the summer. So things like the protection and welfare licenses, those were taken care of. The request from protection and welfare, there were ways where it did not need to go through council. So the discussion of not serving the public, I just don't recall that as part of why this was voted in.
Okay.
That's all I need to say right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll go to Alderman Nicholson.
Thank you, Mayor. What have we been doing for the last, since you've been mayor?
We have gone to monthly meetings in the summer. I think the ebb and flow has been between 2 and 4. And I want to say that I direct staff to know that. And it's agenda driven. I mean, that's what our meetings, all of our meetings are. So we've talked about that as a senior staff level. As Alderman Weir said, it's your decision. But, you know, the senior staff will work toward that, and if we need a meeting, I mean, we'll have one.
But is there a change on this proposal compared to what we have been doing in the past since you were mayor?
I just want to say what I've been doing for summer meetings since I've been mayor, that's been 15 years, is
Right.
been not consistently, but the last number of years, what, 4 or 5 years, we've gone to one meeting a month in the summer months, those 4 months. So I'd say the last 5 years.
And that's what this is, number 7?
Yes, sir. That is
Okay.
exactly what that is.
I mean, we haven't had many emergencies, and also I believe Alderman Dorff is bringing back or proposing a 6 o'clock change that should help if we have any long meetings. And if you look at that long meeting we had, that was very out of the ordinary.
Yes, it was.
If everybody remembers what it was basically very out of the ordinary. Other than that, we've been getting out of the meetings during the summer early. So I see, just to be consistent, what we have been doing for the last 5 years. I mean, you always want to look at, does government really have to meet all the time? I mean, the public doesn't want government to meet all the time. And if there is an emergency, our mayor, correct, can call a meeting.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. I would like to just be consistent. I agree with this. And, you know, I guess I'm going to support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Scannell.
Thank you, Your Honor. One question: does this also include then the committees? Are we the committees would meet this once a month? Because that's what it was.
I have no say over the committees. That's totally up to the
So we
committee
would-
chair.
Up to the chair.
I just said that.
Okay, so we can make that decision, each committee.
You chair B&W, right?
Okay, yep, all right, thank you. That's all I got to say. I support it.
Alderperson LaFave?
Yes, I'm a member of the Personnel Committee, and when we talked about it, this makes sense. There's a lot of things going on in the summer, and also when you have 2 meetings a month, there could be something where residents themselves have to come. They're busy too, and that's another reason why starting the meetings a little bit earlier, I think, helps people too, that they're not sitting here waiting and waiting until the item comes up. And also, I thought it was kind of, when Alderman Dorff had mentioned that there were that meeting went really, really late, I thought it was terrible that the staff had to be there. I mean, they have to go to work the next day. I mean, some of us do work, but I mean, still, it's it's kind of hard on the staff. If this would happen more than once, you know, in the summer, more things do come up in the summer. And I think this also means that people know that they have to get the business done instead of talking, you know, dragging the meetings on. So I'm very much in support of this. I think it makes good sense. Maybe not the September, as Alderman Weary had mentioned. It's not summer, but if everybody wants September, then I'll go along with it.
Thank you, Alderperson. Do you want to speak again?
An amendment?
Do you want to speak again?
Oh.
Okay, then you got to turn.
Okay.
Stoyer's light. Alderman Stoyer's light is on.
Oh, is it?
Huh?
No, I had requests to speak, but then I Or just my fault.
Alderman Weary?
I'm off.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Skipping meetings really is something new. I mean, when I started back in 2002, I think my first 10 years, I think we skipped July. And then it slowly became July, August, June, July, August, September, December, sometimes January. Pretty soon we might as well just meet once a month. You know, our only job that we got elected for is service. That's all. That's what we're elected to serve. And by making it once a month, we're serving less. We're getting paid the same. We're serving less. You know, whether it's, you know, it might not be important to us, but a meeting like this, if we held it for a month, you know, till our next meeting would be a month. If somebody tomorrow asked you to address something on their block and you said, yeah, I'll put it in right away. Oh, well, we don't really meet for a month, but then we'll get on it because we gotta do other stuff in summer. I mean, it sounds bad. It's bad policy. You know, we're making citizens, developers, proposals wait. We're making them wait. I'll come here for 1 hour or 2 hours so that one person gets their item done, because that's what we're here for. If you wanna vote against that, fine. But I'm gonna make a motion to strike the months of June, August, and September, and leave July.
I'll second that.
All right. So we have a new motion on the floor. The motion is to cancel the meeting in July. To approve cancellation of the first regular scheduled meeting for the month of July.
Is it
anything else?
That's it. Yeah.
Wait, I don't want to do that just yet. Is anybody else? Anybody else want to speak to that? I don't see any other lights.
Let's vote.
All right. So the motion on the floor is to cancel the months of June, August, and September. So I just want to be clear when people vote. A yes vote means we meet twice a month. Except July. Yeah. Okay, I just want to be clear on it. So a yes vote, we meet once a month except July. A no vote, yeah, yes vote.
Motion to approve.
Hang on, I only had 10 votes. I only had 10 votes, man.
Yes?
John.
Okay, there it is.
Okay, so that fails on a motion of 4 to 8. Is that okay? So we're back to the original motion, which is by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderperson Dorf, to approve item 7.
Okay, I'm not there yet.
I think I pressed my light, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Alderman Weary.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My light's always on. I'll make a motion to delete the months of June and September. So we would meet once a month, July, August. Thank you.
Okay, so the motion on the floor now is a yes vote. We meet twice a month in August and September. A no vote, we're back.
There wasn't a second.
Oh.
Motion to approve the original motion.
Second.
All right.
Okay, wait, can you just
No.
wait 1 second?
Yeah, the original motion is item 7.
But don't I have to show that failed? Or I'm not showing failed? But I don't do it here. Okay, sorry, I just want to make sure. Okay.
All right.
So now we're back to voting.
Right.
Regular screen.
Nicholson, Alderman Nicholson, Alderperson Dorf, item 7. Please vote.
I have my light.
I have my light on, sir.
Okay.
Now he's going to do it again.
She was first. Alderperson Dorf?
Yes, I just wanted to clarify that beyond the meetings, I do quite a bit of service for my district. It's not just the meetings in which I'm serving the citizens of my district. There are phone calls, there are emails, there are visits out to homes. I feel pretty comfortable in the fact that I'm working every day for the citizens of my district. And if we need to call a meeting, we will call a special meeting. We have that opportunity to do that. So I think we're pretty much covered if we need to do something during these months. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Weary.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, there's only one left, so I'm going to make a motion to strike September. That has nothing to do with summer. There's no reason we can't meet in September. Honestly. Are we getting that?
Right,
we can't meet.
Is there a motion on the floor?
I'm amending it.
I think we take amendments. So there's a motion to amend item 7.
I'll second that.
And second by Alderman Stoyer to strike September. So a yes vote, we meet twice in September. A no vote, we're back to the original motion.
I do have my light on.
Alderperson Dorf.
I just want to remind us that that would be the day after Labor Day that we would then be meeting, and that's probably why we didn't meet in September in the past. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other lights when I can't read this goddamn board?
How many people go on the day after Labor Day?
That's Scanlon, is that everybody on there?
I only show Weary.
You're on for that? You're done. All right.
My light's
Who's
always
voting?
lit. All right. It's a guy phrase.
We're down to September. Yes vote, we meet twice, and no vote, we don't. She said no. Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry, we're going to look at that. Okay, and that fails by 8-4. So, Alderman Nicholson and Alderperson Dorf have a motion to approve item 7.
Oh, sorry.
Let's see how little work we can do.
Okay. All right. Please vote.
Again.
This is on item 7. Good. All right, and that passes on a vote of 10-2. Thank you. Clerk?
Now we're on to 8, right? We're now on to approve a new starting time at 6 p.m.
There was a motion, no, all right, yes. So the motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Stevens. Alderman Nicholson, hang on.
Just, when are we going to start this?
It would be June 19th. We have to go through an ordinance.
Okay.
That would be the first effective date. You have to approve an ordinance change, though. This can come back to you one more time. But, and this, we've been through this before, but, so you're passing this report. You're going to have the first reading tonight, second reading at the end of May, and then it would be effective June 19th if we move our starting time. This is just the first step.
Gotcha. Thanks, Mayor.
Anybody else on this?
I don't see anybody.
All right, please use the board on this. This is the approval of item 8 under the Personnel Committee. Mr. Vanderleest? Alderman Vanderleest? Okay. And that passes on a vote of 11-1. All right, thank you. Okay. Let's give you a second to catch up, and then we'll get going.
We're now on to the Park Committee.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell, now seconded by Alderman Nicholson, to approve the report of the Park Committee. Any items under this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and that report's been approved.
We're now on to the Protection and Welfare Committee.
I'll entertain a motion to approve that. By Alderman Scannell, seconded by Alderman Galvin, to approve the report of the Protection and Welfare Committee. Are there any items in this report you want to handle separately? Item 10. Okay, hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All items have been approved under report S. What are your wishes regarding item 10?
Motion to approve.
The motion approved by Alderman Stoyer.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Galvin. Alderman Scannell.
Yes, I would ask the council to allow the committee to have final authority on this. There are some time constraints on this. They could not, they were out of town and were unable to come to our last meeting. Their plane got delayed and they didn't get in, they got in late. So if the council could give us final authority on this one, I would appreciate it.
Motion to that effect.
We're meeting twice that month, too. Okay. There's a motion and a second to suspend the rules. I guess suspend the rules first. To suspend the rules regarding item 10. So all in favor of suspension signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. So now the proper motion is to give the Protection and Welfare the authority to approve this request given the approval of police and law. Yep. That's a motion by Alderman Scannell. Second by Alderman Nicholson. Use the board on this one? Yeah. All right, please use the board on this. This is giving the final approval to the Protection and Welfare Committee. A yes vote gives them, yeah, that's pretty strong. All right, and that passes unanimously, so you're going to deal with it. It's in your hands.
Thank you.
We're on to referral of petitions and communications. Listed below, you have all petitions and communications received by the clerk's office by noon on Thursday. We will now accept any late communications you may have. So I don't show anybody.
Look, I know it's a new software system. I don't see any.
Oh, no, there are.
Okay. Alderman Stoyer.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Get my microphone. All right, this one's to Protection and Welfare to revisit Green Bay Municipal Code 8.06 as it pertains to the length of dog leashes as to a workable solution. Dog leashes, sorry.
That it?
There's a story behind it.
We'll wait for that. Alderman Weary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 4. The first one is for traffic, bike, and pedestrian. Implement a citywide study of all Green Bay public schools for crosswalk enhancements and crossing guard placement. Number 2, improvement in services. As per prior practice, upon request, allow city council members a second parking permit. INS, as per prior practice, upon request, allow city council members to be provided with printed agendas and minutes. Those didn't have to come to council, but the powers that be said it had to, so it seemed like a simple change to me. The last one's for Protection and Welfare. Discuss with possible action of endorsement of Police Chief Smith's proposal for school safety regarding retired policemen in all Green Bay public schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Alderperson Dorf.
I have 2. The first to traffic, bike, and ped, to consider doing a study to lower the speed limit on Church Road between Nicolay Drive and Bay Settlement Road. The second one to improvement in services. This communication is a follow-up to the communication of February 6, 2018 regarding the municipal vehicle registration fee program, which is the wheel tax. It's a request that this topic be placed on the improvement and services agenda for their next meeting in May and be brought back to City Council for discussion and possible resolution at the May 15th, 2018 City Council meeting.
Is it the 17th or is it the 15th? 15th. Okay. Right, anyone else? It is not. I have Alderperson Dorf. You're there. Nope, you're good. Alderman Vanderleest.
This is request to the Parks Committee to request an update on the fundraising for the 9/11 Memorial Monument next to the Neville Public Museum. I'd like to see the fundraising completed prior to the 9/11 ceremony this year. Many residents and the business have felt strongly on keeping this memorial in Green Bay. We did discuss it at Improvement Services in the past, right? And just want to pass that along. And also, request of the Parks Department to increase public communication on caring for diseased trees on Green Bay, so residents are more informed on how to identify diseased trees and steps to get the city forestry involved. There are areas on the west side of Green Bay have many diseased trees, both on the right of way and
right.
So just a little bit more information.
Thank you.
Submit these both. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris, do you have any late communications?
I do. I have two of them. One is for Improvement and Service Committee, application for concrete sidewalk builders licensed by Brian's Quality Concrete, and Protection and Welfare, appeal by Lisa Root to the denial of her operator license application.
All right. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to refer all. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderperson Kathy Lefebvre, to refer all petitions and communications to the proper authorities. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. They've all been referred. Clerk?
We're now into resolutions. You may enter suspension of the rules, adopt resolutions 3 through 9 together with one roll call vote.
Second.
All right, so there's a motion by Alderman Scannell and a seconded by Alderman Stoyer to suspend the rules for that purpose. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Proper motion would be to adopt. Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Corpus Dax. And please use your board on this. Resolutions are all voted on using the board. 1 through 9, report you. Here, get Kathy.
Oh.
All right, and those pass unanimously. Thank you.
We're on to ordinances first reading. You may enter suspension of the rules, advance ordinances 1 through 4 to a third reading.
All right, we have a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Stevens to suspend the rules for that purpose. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The rules are suspended. And now we're going to advance these to the third reading.
Second.
I can't set it as current. I can't do anything. Oh, no, it did. Okay. Do you have it?
This is voice vote stuff. I don't need the board. Right?
We just asked who did the...
It was Alderman Scannell and Alderman Stevens.
Close enough.
Okay.
Okay, so there was a motion second to advance these to the third reading. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. Those 4 ordinances have been advanced to the third reading, so you'll see those in 2 weeks.
We are on to ordinances third reading. You may adopt ordinance 1 with a roll call vote.
There's a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderperson Corpus Dax. If you would please use the board, this is adopting General Ordinance 318.
That's it.
Oh, sorry. Alderman, we're good. All right. was a good meeting. All right. There's a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Scannell to adjourn this meeting. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All right, we'll see you. Hopefully, I'll see you May 9th. If not, May 15th.
I will be there. It's a good one.
I can't hit adjourn.
The state of the city. No, it would be Wednesday.
Are we going to get this?
This? I
We'll
hope
get
so.
this, won't we?
We will.
Oh,
We will. We will.
You should see us with the first squad car.
Oh, yeah, it takes time.
Just voted against.
It'll be better. It'll be better.
Once they
Now,
get
do we
into
check
it-
out? Do we check? Am I checked out? Do we have to check out of the meeting?
You got to talk to Mike.
That's all.
there you
Mike,
hit stop.
Mike checked out, or?
All right.